What's up, guys? So to start off this tutorial for a thick top coil for basically any traditional that you're gonna want to do besides a classic and a rocket pocket, because that's a different type of top coil. This one requires you to first take your string and I already did one side up for time's sake, but so imagine this isn't done up yet. You put from the inside out, you take your cross lace piece that you're going to be using, and you go both ways from the inside out, and so it'll stay tight like that. And then you even it out so that there's two even lengths going down. Next, you will be going excuse me, from over top back. So going over top back and push this up just a little bit, and you want to make sure that this piece of cross lace that's in between the leathers stays relatively tight, not tight enough to pull the leathers towards each other, but just tight enough to where they don't seem loose. Now once you come back behind this string, you're going to go back through the leathers under the initial pull through. So hopefully you can see that it's under the initial pull through of the leathers earlier when you first started, and then you're going to hold on to this loop that you've created in the back so that it doesn't go anywhere. You're going to go around the front again, front of the leathers, okay, around the front of the leathers and up through this loop that you were holding on to. Pull all your excess through, and then you pull the loop through so that it tightens that knot, okay, and then you basically hold on to each part of the excess so that it doesn't slip on itself, okay? And basically it'll look like that. Okay, there won't be anything on the outside of the back of the leathers, okay? If you follow me on Instagram, I'll be posting different pictures for each part so that you can see it, okay? Now, what's next is both these knots are exactly the same, okay? Both these free bits are going down. Next, you take one of these strings, you move this other string out of the way, take one of them, it doesn't matter which. Now you're going to come from the bottom front up and over to the back, and then you're going to start coiling that up and over all the way to the other side. Now this is the tedious part, which is why some people get lazy and do something else. But if you want to do it right, I mean, this isn't the right way, this is just a way. And it's the way that I tend to do it if it's a double thick top coil. Now as you're moving across, you're going to want to take your time. This isn't something that you need to rush. I mean, you shouldn't rush on anything when it comes to a traditional. Otherwise you're gonna skip something or just completely screw it up. But as you're moving across, with each wraparound, you're going to want to make sure that you're pushing the coils towards the outside, okay? So I'm using my fingers to pull the coils over towards the leathers, okay? Now you keep doing this until you get all the way to the other side. I know I could do the whole fancy edit and whatnot and speed this up, but I prefer to try and stay at the same pace as you guys so that you can pretty much stay in step with me as best as you can without me skipping ahead and you having to pause it, because I know I hate doing that, and I'm pretty sure you guys hate doing that. So as I'm moving across, I am pulling the coil tight, and once you get across, once you touch this other knot, go one more time, depending on how much space you have to tighten it. Get it nice and tight. Okay. Now, this part, this first wraparound that you've just created, this coil, take that leading end, excuse me, and then you basically do the same knot that you were doing at the base of where the leathers entwine each other. Okay, so right there where they go through each other, do one over the back and to the front and up and over itself again. Okay, and it's going to look like that, so that doesn't come undone. Next, you're going to take, this is the back of the stick obviously, you're going to take your other leading end, the one that hasn't been coiled yet. You should be able to see this little loop right here. You're going to come from the back to the front through this little loop. Okay, hopefully you do it right. And this is going to be what basically creates tension, more tension for it to work. Okay, so next what you do is come up and around and start coiling back. You do not go through that that little loop again. So you come up and through, and as you're doing this, it's going to seem like the original coil that you did is coming undone, but that's not the case. Okay, so all it's doing really is tightening it up more and more. Okay. All it's going to do is basically straighten it out. Now remember, this is just one way to do it. I mean, you guys can try and be original and do something slightly different. I mean, I know maybe 3 different ways to do this top coil, but this is the first way that I learned how to do it, so I might as well try and explain it to you guys that way, so that proper ways to learn it are expressed. I mean, I'm not perfect, but I would like people to learn how I learned, and that's by watching and doing it a certain way. But I mean, it's up to you guys. You guys are the artists in this case, so all I'm doing is just expressing myself that way. So we're still coiling. The coiling is what takes the longest. It's the most probably one of the most tedious things when doing any traditional, is if you have to involve coils. So still coiling it. Now, what I mean about doing it a different way is that you could go, instead of going from the bottom up and over, you could go from the top up and over and around and around and around whenever you're doing this, because each way does something different to the knots before the coil, and this is just one way to do it. Like I said, just happens to be one of the easiest ways to do this coil. So make sure you tighten it. Now that you've gotten all the way over to the other side, we're going to do the same thing that we did on the other side with that excess string that's going to be going down and creating whatever's going down the middle. We're going to go just below where the leathers go through each other and do over the leather and up and over the string again. Make sure those knots are nice and tight. And there you go. That's one way to do a top coil. Okay? Thanks for watching, guys. I know it took a little bit longer than I had hoped, but hey, if you want to do something right, you might as well take your time. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have a question about what I did at a certain point, go ahead and ask me. I will try and get back to you. If there's any other little tips that anybody really needs and wants a demonstration of, please send me a message or comment, and I will try and find time to do that for you. I'll definitely do it for you. I mean, I only had 2 people ask me to do this, and I'm doing it for them. So thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later. Keep lax and keep stringing.